Around 1 in the afternoon, a strange cloud begins to rise from the top of a mountain the Romans didn't even think was a volcano. A young man watching from across the bay writes it down almost as a curiosity. He has no idea he is about to witness and describe, in the only surviving eyewitness account in history, the death of an entire city in less than a day. His name is Pliny the Younger, and the city is Pompeii. Pompeii was a thriving Roman city of roughly 12,000 people. Bakeries, brothels, bathhouses, election graffiti still wet with paint. Vesuvius loomed over it, green and quiet, so dormant that vineyards grew on its slopes. No one alive had ever seen it erupt. They had no word for what was about to happen, because as far as they knew, it never had. Early afternoon, August 24th. Across the Bay of Naples, in the town of Misenum, Pliny the Younger's uncle, Pliny the Elder, admiral of the Roman fleet, notices a cloud unlike any he's seen, shaped like an umbrella pine, rising for miles into the sky. Curious, he orders a ship prepared, planning to sail closer for a better look. Then a messenger arrives, desperate. A woman named Rectina is trapped near the base of the mountain. Curiosity becomes rescue. He orders the entire fleet to launch. In Pompeii itself, roughly 5 miles from the summit, the sky begins to darken in the middle of the day. Fine ash falls first, then pumice stone, light, porous rock raining down harder by the hour. Some residents shelter indoors, thinking it will pass. Others start walking toward the coast, covering their heads with pillows and cushions tied down with cloth. By late afternoon, the layer of pumice on the streets is already knee-deep. By the time Pliny the Elder's ships reach the coast near Stabia, south of Pompeii, the falling debris and violent currents make it impossible to land safely, and just as impossible to sail away. He goes ashore anyway, to comfort a terrified friend, reportedly telling him, "Fortune favors the brave." That night, he eats dinner, and, according to his nephew's account, even sleeps while ash continues to fall outside. Back in Pompeii, the weight of accumulating pumice starts collapsing roofs across the city. Some residents who stayed inside, believing they were safe, are killed as buildings cave in around them. Others, still trying to flee, tie pillows over their heads for protection and stumble through streets buried in stone, in near total darkness, breathing air thick with. Sometime after midnight, the eruption changes character. The column of ash, no longer sustained, begins to collapse under its own weight, sending scalding avalanches of gas, ash, and rock racing down the mountainside at highway speed. This is the moment volcanologists call a pyroclastic surge. The first waves strike the town of Herculaneum, closer to the summit than Pompeii. Temperatures reach several hundred degrees. Death, for those caught in it, is nearly instantaneous. At Stabiae, Pliny the Elder wakes to find the courtyard nearly blocked by fallen pumice. He and his companions debate, stay inside, risking collapse, or go outside, risking falling debris. They choose to go out, tying pillows to their heads with cloths, and walk toward the shore by torchlight. There, overcome by fumes, Pliny the Elder collapses and dies. His body is found 2 days later, reportedly showing no visible wounds, likely killed by toxic gas, not fire. Back at Misenum, Pliny the Younger and his mother feel the ground shake violently as dawn breaks. Across the bay, a new surge, larger and faster than the ones before, finally reaches Pompeii itself. Whoever remained in the city by this point, sheltering, waiting, hoping it would pass, is overtaken almost instantly. The heat is so extreme that it's believed to have killed people before they even had time to react. Their bodies, buried in ash that later hardened around them, would leave hollow voids in the earth. The same voids that nearly 1,700 years later, archaeologists would fill with plaster to reveal for the first time the exact final postures of the dead. By the time the ash finally settled, Pompeii and Herculaneum had vanished. Not gradually, but in the span of about 18 hours. The cities were so completely buried that for centuries, people forgot exactly where they had stood. It would take until the 18th century for excavation to begin in earnest, and when it did, it revealed something no other ancient site could offer: a city frozen mid-moment. Bread still in the oven, graffiti still on the walls, and the last letter ever written about it still preserved, because a young man watching from across the bay decided the world should know what he saw.